Hi, today I'm going to tell you the story of how I learned German and why I speak German today, every day. The first time I learned German, I was 16, I was in high school and I had a German teacher. We spoke in the first year, I think, if I recall it right, like 1 hour of German a week. And then the two last years, 3 hours a week of class. But it was very, very much focused on like grammar, and this was very theoretical for me. But I was able to speak it a little bit. Also, you must know I'm speaking Dutch at home as well, so I'm from Belgium. We speak 3 languages. Belgian is not a language. Belgian is not a language. In Belgium we speak 3 languages. We speak French, Dutch and German. But the part where they speak German is very, very small. I'm from the Dutch part, but my mother tongue is French, so this is also because of the history of Belgium and yeah. Anyway, that's why we have German class at school. But some people don't have German class, it's not the same for everyone, but in my school at least, everyone had at least 1 hour of German a week. But after the many years of theoretical classes, one day we went with the class all together to Aachen at the Christmas market. And Aachen is a city in Germany, not so far away from Belgium, so it was very easy, like for a one-day trip. And I remember we had like a paper where we had like some questionnaires we had to ask the people on the streets, and like we were able to talk to some people. And then at the end of the day, I just remember I was like, damn, I learned so much more now in this one day than in the years before. It was really, really a good boost for the language just to be there for like one day and like speak to the people in German. I remember after that we had like a presentation which was also in German, and I just remember that from this moment on my German was way better. But after I finished high school, I didn't want to go straight to university, and I did a gap year in Turkey. And so I learned Turkish, which was great, but I completely forgot German. Like my skills got replaced in my head. I don't know, I was unable to speak any German word after coming back from Turkey, but I was like, you know, I learned Turkish, so I must be able to learn German again. I mean, anyway, so I was like, okay, I had a friend from Germany who I met in Turkey. So I went to Germany for the first time in my life, 5 days in Germany. On the first day of these 5 days visiting my friend, I arrived at the station. So I took the train from Belgium to Germany, and I arrived at the station, and I remember there was a guy who was like saying something about like free drinks if you did some special trick or something. And I was like, oh, can I get a free drink? And I asked this question, I wanted to ask this question in German, of course, we were in Germany. But I don't know how, but I asked this question in Turkish. And the guy was Turkish. So he just answered in Turkish to me, and I was like, why do you speak Turkish to me? And he said, like, you spoke Turkish to me. Anyway, I did a special trick. I rolled on the ground, and then I got a free drink. I don't even remember what it was, but it was very, very funny. And then I arrived at my friend's place. We visited a lot of her friends. We spoke a little bit of English together, but we also spoke a lot of German. I told her friends, like, please only speak German with me. I had a bit of a headache, but I mean, it worked, and I was so happy. I remember at the party, there was like a house party, and they were explaining a card game, and I understood the full explanation, and I was so proud of myself. I was really proud that I understood it. And yeah, so this was just a breaking point for me where I was like, okay, now I can speak German again. Okay, so then I started university. I studied science of communication, and in my 3rd year of bachelor, I was able to go on Erasmus, and I was like, okay, Erasmus, here we come. I'm going to take this opportunity to really work on my German skills. By this time, I knew German, but I wasn't so great at it yet. I mean, I was able to speak and to make myself clear. So there my Erasmus journey starts. So before being able to go on Erasmus to Leipzig, I had to get a paper, a certificate saying that I'm speaking B1 level of German. So for this, I went to my high school teacher. I did some like online tests for her to show my skills, and then I sent the results to her. She said, okay, if these are your true results, then I will send you the paper. So the paper was everything I needed, and I was able to go to Leipzig. In Leipzig, I looked for a WG, which is a Wohngemeinschaft or like a co-housing space with 3 German people, so I was able to practice my German at home with them all the time. We didn't speak English, like only the 2 first hours of my arrival, and then I told them like, speak German with me, please. And then besides that, I also had my classes, of course, of the university, which were all in German. And then basically on Erasmus, I also tried to not speak too much with the Erasmus people. I know this sounds silly because I was on Erasmus. So the first month or 2, I was definitely a lot with my Erasmus friends. And then I kind of moved away from them and I told myself I really want to focus on German. I'm only here for like 1 semester and I want to go for it. And more with my German friends, I hang out with a very cool guy who became my boyfriend. And I hanged out with my WG and so with my co-housing people and with a lot of other German people, and I just had a lot of fun with them, and which was a great idea because I came back actually in my master to do Erasmus 1 more time, 1 more semester, and all my friends were still there, which was nice because if my friends would have been like all international, they wouldn't be there anymore, of course. Also, every Tuesday I went to the Sprachencafe in the Villa Leipzig. In this language cafe there were multiple tables and each of the tables had a different language. So you would go to the table of the language you wanted to learn. So I went to the German table to improve my German skills. There were always like some mother tongue speakers sitting at a table with us, with all the foreign people who really wanted to learn the language. It's just really nice, and it was great that you didn't have to know anybody, like everybody comes there to learn the language. So you have one goal and there's no shame around like going alone or like don't finding anyone to speak with because just everyone has the same goal, and I love that. And so now we come to the last chapter. I'm living in Leipzig currently. I've been working here already for 2 years, speaking German every day. Like I live together with my boyfriend, speak German at home. I speak German at my work. So I've been speaking more German than my mother tongue, than the languages I grew up around. I'm basically speaking it like every day, all the time. So it's really became really good. But still, sometimes people hear that I'm not from Germany. And I guess that's okay. I still have like a little internal struggle with it, but I try to accept it. I mean, it's normal when you learn language a little bit later in life, that's people are always going to hear that you're not from this country. But it's funny because the other day somebody asked me if I have a dialect or an accent, because they were uncertain where I came from. And I really liked this question because I was like, okay, so maybe I'm from a place in Germany they don't know, because they're just confused because my German is really good, but I just, well, don't have an accent which really fits anywhere because I'm not from Germany. I actually don't even know how the German people in Belgium speak. I don't know if they have a specific accent because I'm not from that region of Belgium either. Of course, I'm still struggling sometimes with connotations of words, for example, because I'm speaking Dutch in Belgium. It's my second language. So there's a lot of Dutch and German words which are very similar. And the problem with that is that sometimes I would think I understand the words, but actually this has a different connotation, which can sometimes be a little bit messy in a conversation, or like mix things up, or I misunderstand something, or I say something and actually I'm meaning something else. But that's a whole other conversation. Anyway, I think being able to speak German is so important when you're living here. I mean, it's important to learn the language of the country where you're living in anyway, like for any place where you are, in my opinion. But it's definitely also important because I'm able to speak with older people. I also have friends who don't even speak English. So it's just like for your social life, also to find a job, of course, it's always easier if you speak the country's language. And yeah, so it's just really important, but it also came natural to me to learn the language. So overall, I'm happy that I learned it, and I'm happy that I was able to learn it as easily as I could. If you have any questions to me about how I learned German, or about Erasmus life, or about living in Germany, Leipzig, whatever, just ask them in the comments below. I will be happy to reply to all of your questions. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on this video. Maybe you have a different experience on how you learn German. I'm also really interested in reading your stories. I really love that. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you didn't do that already. Thank you so much. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.